first day at Balboa, we walked up. We didn't even get to our spot that we were designated, and all these tourists just wanting pictures, and we're like, oh, we don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
We haven't even started performing yet. Look, people.
So you're drawing attention to yourselves right off the bat before they can see what you guys are actually about. So
Right.
it's kind of an interesting thing there. Balboa Park, obviously a good venue for buskers such as yourselves to kind of draw people's attention, and they're going about their business.
No, it's terrible. We don't want any competition.
Sometimes
it's terrible.
Sometimes
Don't come out there.
Yeah, don't go there then, unless you're going to watch the event.
Exactly.
It's good because tourists come out to Balboa Park, and so do the local San Diegans. Go to
So it's kind of like an old World's Fair. Come see what.
Well, Balboa Park was built for World's Fair.
Yeah.
It was home to two of them, right?
1915 and 1933.
At the Casa del Prado Theater, it looks like a church, and for years people have thought it was a church, but it turns out it was actually a cafeteria.
No, I just noticed this
It was a food hall.
like a couple months ago. But if you look up at the architecture, there's literally naked ladies holding up
Yes.
the roof.
Yes.
Just you need to look at that and
Yeah,
just think,
it was
wow,
the
how
longest
did I-
while before I saw it too.
How did I ever miss that? I know we've been doing.
And now you can't not see it.
I've seen
right?
it for years, so I guess.
Aaron's like,
I noticed naked boobies.
Well,
That's
I'm
what
just,
I do.
I'm not a sexist pig like you, so.
What can I say?
All right, so this started to develop kind of, you guys were doing your thing in the park, and when did you guys first start getting bigger acts like the stage show you did in early '09?
Well, let's see. If we want to go stage show route, our first
at
logged in was at
12:25.
channel 1225
And we were invited
by
the
Mike,
Smart Brothers.
by Mr. Reed,
Mr.
actually.
Reed.
He was
Yeah.
playing with the Smart Brothers at the time,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, this idea for the show that we perform at, all these crazy circus acts." And he's like, "You guys have been great," and that really didn't see through too well. So
That's
it was-
exactly how Mr.
But
Reed
he was
sounds,
really
by the way.
nice. And
I was going to
remembered-
say,
he was nice
it's a
to-
dead-on impression
Yeah.
again and again what you did.
I don't know. It sounds like him. I'm sure.
So
he'd
you
appreciate
guys did
It doesn't
12.
best
You guys did 1225 for a while,
Mhm.
and then I happened to catch you guys when you came here to the Grossmont College Science Festival
Yes.
back in late March of last year, and that was actually, I don't know, I guess,
much later.
yeah, that was, the rest was history from then on. I mean, you guys have done so much since then, and I've been able to kind of see your growth in the second half of, how far your career has progressed so far. How you guys kind of came on and performed a few different sets through the day. It was an all-day kind of science exhibition we had all over campus, and of course, the weekend after that, I caught you guys at your stage show up in Oceanside. Was that the first time you kind of displayed the whole backstory thing?
I think it
I
was.
think so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we do talk about it in our bits a little bit, and we're trying to do that a little bit more. But
But as far as the actual show being formed around the storytelling element, I think that was a first for that.
I mean, we have the story. We know the story, all of us.
Mhm.
I mean, we just haven't given it out to everyone yet.
Well, and our instructor, Jerry Hager, who's the mime instructor here, he helped us to kind of collaborate and condense this elaborate story that we had into something that could come across in an hour and a half show,
Yeah.
as opposed to a 5-hour movie.
It was accessible to anyone, so it was fine. We knew it was only a show that was going to happen a few times, so it wasn't like we were bent on getting it perfect or something.
It was a lot of fun though, and we did actually pull a lot of our lore, our pseudo history from that show.
Yeah.
It was very fun, and it doubled as kind of a concert. So there was the first portion of it, or half, was a lot about the story and one or two songs, and then kind of at the peak there's the concert. We did songs, and wrapped up the story at the end. So it was kind of an interesting show.
Yeah, and of course, shortly after that, we had our first interview with the group, and that was actually the last time all four of them were here in studio with us. And then, of course, the big event after that was the development of album 1.
Yeah, and that was October of last year,
It was
where
like
we
6 months ago, right?
yeah
something
when
like
we
that.
released it, and we started working on it about a year ago.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It-
Right after the stage show, as I
Mhm.
understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it took a long time, and working with schedules and small amounts of equipment.
And we want to do another album. We need to make money first. It's it.
We need to make a living.
I like
survive.
album 1 just as much as the other person, but Album 2 ain't gonna come until we can support ourselves and have the time to go make album 2.
Right, so album 1 came out at a big stage show on October 30th of last year. I was out at Queen Bee's, a nice all ages venue that you guys frequent and love to perform there. And album 1 included a lot of the songs that you guys had been performing for the longest time. Some of the songs that you had on the back burner, not so much performing as much, but you had thrown together. And of course, you had a couple of newer songs, not necessarily songs that you created. I mean, I think one of the songs was created just for the album, and then the other one was kind of in development, and you hadn't released it in any official form until you did the album.
Well, we had a couple songs that were just for the album.
Steamman Band and Steamman Band Reprise. Steamman Band actually was like kind of like a love letter to us from Mike. He made it, and he said, you know, I made this to try to get you to see what because he kind of wanted to work with us, I believe.
Yeah, well, it was funny because he actually put it up on his MySpace, and the night before he did that, we had decided we wanted to ask him to be a part of the group. So it was kind of like the final.
It sealed the deal. It was like, we need him. We need him. We're like, oh, and by the way, Mike, this is going to be the opening track for the album.
Yeah.
And then we said, oh, and also work on a closing track. And he's like, oh, okay.
They gave out the dead-on impression of Reef. And of course, you did the other album-exclusive song, I Am Not Alone, which was a chance for Erin to do some of the work.
Yeah.
Because she does a lot of work, but just because of the amount that she has in the actual songs doesn't mean she's not doing anything. She's doing.
Well, I'm also I'm very self-conscious when it comes to singing. So I mean, I'll run around with a chicken on my head, but when it comes to singing, I do get I do get pretty self-conscious. So these guys will tell you it was a real struggle and fight to push me to do something like this, and I'm really glad that they did push me.
It's been a journey, and she's come a long way.
I think she's a success story. I think she's really come a long way, and I think she's a success story. She's really come a long way.
Yeah, and
I think these guys in their kindness are a success story, and they've really come a long way in learning.
I think we've generally come a long way.
yeah.
We have sombreros
they're really
on.
humble.
Yes. Hey, we got that much.
But it was nice to have a few new songs in the album, because people are like, okay, I've heard this song play up a bunch, but it's kind of like, ooh, tasty treats in the middle of the album.
And then seeing kind of like the production of the album and how it spruces up certain ones of the songs, like one of your signatures, "Electricity Is in My Soul," which we actually have played here on the radio station quite often, and "Brass Goggles" also was really spruced up by the album treatment. And then you guys had that big show, the album release show, and then of course on the turnaround of the new year, you guys celebrated your 2nd anniversary with a big show at Queen Bee's again, and that was the 114th anniversary of your robot characters and your 2nd anniversary. So you've been going at this for just over 2 years now, and you've been doing quite a lot. So I congratulate you guys for that. You guys have really done a lot and accomplished so much, and you still, you have a long way to go, but you guys have the potential, and you guys have been great friends of the station and everything.
Thank
you. Thanks a lot for sitting here with us, and of course for performing for us, which you're going to be doing coming up in just a bit. Cool. So thanks to Steam Powered Giraffe, and we will be back with a special performance. So that's Steam Powered Giraffe performing live when we come back on Griffin Radio.